In this video, we're going to cover all about the coming soon no showing status. So we're going to go over the rules surrounding the use of this status, how to enter coming soon no showings listing, how to adjust the start showing date, and how to make your listing active early. All right, so we're going to go through a couple questions that we get and the answers to those questions. So the first being, what is the coming soon no showing status? Well, this status has been made available for listings that are not fully ready for showings, your marketing isn't quite ready, or to simply drum up interest for your first day of showings. It's in the name, so you cannot show a listing in this status, and the term showings include showing it to other agents in your brokerage or a private virtual showing. Now, what does it mean when we say virtual showing? So virtual showings are interactive live videos from the subject property. This does not include virtual tours, 3D tours, or photos of the property. All are allowed for a coming soon listing because they're all pre-recorded or pre-taken of the property, not live videos. As a reminder, do not pressure agents to show a listing in the status. It is a violation of the rules if they do so, and it is also a violation of the rules if you pressure someone to show a listing within this status. How long can a listing be in the status of coming soon, no showings? So there is no limit besides not exceeding your expiration date, of course, because it will expire. But you can have the listing in the status of coming soon for as long as you and your seller feel fit. When adding a coming soon listing, are all fields required to be filled in? Yes. So coming soon no showings listings will be a completed listing in the MLS, meaning that all required fields will need to be entered, and this includes at least one photo and the lead paint disclosure if applicable. Can an agent publicly market a property that is listed as coming soon no showings? Yes. So the listing can be publicly marketed, but showings are prohibited while in this status. Will coming soon listings appear on syndication sites like Realtor.com or in public portals? So there's two different answers here. If you're watching as a CCIMLS member, I'm going to answer that first, and then we'll get to the Martha's Vineyard MLS answer, which is slightly different. So for CCIMLS, the coming soon no showing status will not be disseminated to IDX or publisher sites. If the listing is desired to be disseminated to these websites, then the listing would need to be active. With that being said, brokerages can choose to display their own coming soon listings on their own websites. If you do make a listing active and are still not holding showings, you will want to disclose that information in the showing instructions section. Now for the Martha's Vineyard answer, so it's slightly different than Cape Cod. The coming soon no showing status will be disseminated to IDX or publisher sites. The Martha's Vineyard MLS Board of Directors had voted to allow this. Are coming soon no showings listings sent via subscriptions or visible in client portals, and that's within FlexMLS? Yes, and you can also manually email a client a coming soon listing from the system as well. Can I change my listing back to coming soon no showings after it has been active? No. You may not enter a listing as coming soon after it has been active. Staff can't make this change either. There's not a way to switch status from active to coming soon. It can only go to coming soon from the incomplete listing phase, which we'll show you when I go ahead and add a listing later in this training. It's also important to keep an eye on the start showing date or the active date in MBMLS. That's the date that a listing automatically updates to active. You can extend this date as far as you want, again, just not exceeding the expiration date. And you can also make a coming soon listing active prior to your start showing date. Can I add an open house to my coming soon no showings listing? Yes, as long as the open house date is after the listing has become active. So after that start showing date. The system will not allow you to add an open house prior to the start showing date or the active date. As a reminder, there are no showings during this status, which is why an open house in this status is not allowed. Can a seller accept an offer while in the coming soon no showing status? Yes. An offer can be accepted at any point. If it's in the coming soon no showing status, you just need to make sure that this offer was sight unseen since you're not allowed to show a listing in that status to anyone. But an offer can be accepted at any point. How does an agent add a coming soon no showings listing, adjust the start showing date, and make the listing active early? So we're going to head over to CCIMLS and see how all of that is done. All right, so when you're going to add a listing, you would go to Menu and Add Listing. And then you're going to get to the point of the main fields. I've kind of gone ahead and pre-filled out some of the fields because, again, you do need to fill out at least all of the required fields in order to add the listing to the system as coming soon. But we're going to go ahead and focus on specific fields here to show you how to add a listing as coming soon. Again, once you add a listing as active, it can't go back to coming soon, so it's important that you add it as a coming soon no showings listing. So when you're under main fields, the second field from the top is status, and you can choose either to start your listing as an active listing or a coming soon no showings listing. So we want to start it as a coming soon no showings listing. And then we're going to come down here and focus on this list date and the start showing date. Now, I want to point out before this, there's a lot of help text in red text underneath these fields. If you ever question what your list date or your start showing date should be, I recommend reading this help text, even for an active listing. For a coming soon listing, the list date entered in this field should be the day you're entering your listing as coming soon no showings. So the day you want your listing to be available to all members as coming soon. So if I'm entering it and maybe I say, hey, I want this to be coming soon tomorrow, I can go ahead and put it tomorrow. If I want it coming soon today, I would put today. And then the start showing date is the day that your listing automatically updates from coming soon status to active. So that can be, again, there's no limit, just don't exceed the expiration date. I'm just going to put next 1 week. I'm going to have my start showing date out for 1 week. And then again, just make sure you have your expiration date that you have agreed upon in your exclusive listing agreement. Once you have done that, again, you have to make sure you fill out at least all of the required fields, upload at least one photo, and upload a lead paint disclosure if applicable. Once you do that, you can go ahead and click on Add Listing. And it's going to start adding here. I'm just going to copy this MLS number for my sake here. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Change Listing screen. Now, just to point out, you can also get to this screen by going to Menu and Change Listing. So if you want to make any changes to your listing, you would just want to make sure you have Coming Soon No Showing status selected, and it would appear below. This is just a test account, so that's why it's not showing on my screen. And you can also enter in the MLS number to get it as well. But let's say that you jump out a couple days later, your seller decides they're not ready for their listing to be active in the time frame that you had set. So they want to extend that start showing date or the day your listing goes to active. You can certainly do that. You would want to come to this change listing page and click on listing information. What you're going to do here is you're going to land on the main fields tab. You're going to scroll down to that start showing date and extend it out. So I do know that my expiration date is a couple days after that. I'm just going to push this out one day. And you can go ahead and extend that that coming soon time frame. So once that saves, I'm just going to show you what it looks like on a detail report as well. So if we're looking at a detail report, you'll see your list date and your start showing date. The start showing date again is when your listing will automatically switch to active. So just keep an eye on that because once it goes to active, it can't switch back to that coming soon status. All right, let's say that you're actually now ready to make your listing active. You're not ready to wait until next week for it to go active. We're going to make it active early. You would go into that change listing screen again, which if you're looking at the detail report, you can do that by clicking on this drop down arrow next to the MLS number and then clicking on edit listing. Once we do that, I'm gonna come down to where it says status and click on start showing active. Now, again, what we're doing here is we're changing the status from coming soon, no showings to active. So once I do this, I cannot go back to the coming soon status. So make sure if you're following these steps, you want it to be active immediately. Because once I press these two save buttons, it will be active. So all you're going to do, you're going to leave fall through date blank because this is just when used when a pending listing is changed back to active. And you're going to leave the expiration date alone unless you have the seller's written authorization to extend the expiration date. And then you're just going to simply press save and save again. Now, one more time, once I press save, it's going to automatically switch to active and I can't go back to the coming soon status. So I press save. I see here this says status active, but just to show you the detail report, now we can see that our listing is an active listing. And that's all about our coming soon no showing status. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the MLS office. We can be reached at MLS support at CCIAOR.com. Thank you.